Welcome back to Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet. I'm Kristie.
And I'm Josh. We've got some great New Year's themed Reddit stories to close out 2025, so let's jump into the first one.
Am I the asshole for last minute declining to go to a friend's wedding that is dry on New Year's Eve?
Ooh, I don't know. I feel like I can't get behind last minute pulling out of a wedding.
My buddy, 33 male, is getting married to a girl that our friend group is not in love with. He loves her though, so we support him. We have known for months that this was a New Year's Eve wedding. I RSVP'd yes months ago with my wife. Several friends and I operated under the assumption that there would be booze at the wedding, especially considering it's on New Year's Eve. Well, I found out yesterday that it's a dry wedding. Turns out it is because of his fiancée and her family.
And you're just completely repulsed by the idea of not being drunk when the new year starts?
I asked my wife if she knew this, and she said no and was pissed. I texted the groom buddy and asked. He confirmed this. I told him that this is something you should have told us a long time ago. I told him that wife and I would not be going. We want to spend the night drinking.
Sorry, so the wedding is going to be lasting until midnight?
It's on New Year's Eve, so I would assume yes.
Probably they get married and then the reception goes till 1 a.m. or something.
Yeah, probably. I texted the rest of my friends about this and oh boy, the group chat went off. This led to several more people backing out. This is not how a bunch of us expected to spend New Year's Eve. Really, the only ones that didn't back out are the 4 members of our 12-person group that are in the wedding. Groom buddy reached out to me and went off. Pretty much he is now overspending on catering, he is having 20-ish less guests show up than planned, and this is all last minute. I've been called an asshole, among other things, for leading the charge and people not going to the wedding. Am I the asshole?
I'm sorry, just real quick, do we know how last minute this is?
We do not. I don't know.
Okay, because pretty much unless you have a very good reason, which I don't think wanting to be drunk is a good enough reason, if you pull out last minute of a wedding, you are costing that couple money. And that's just asshole behavior. And you did kind of lead the charge. You texted the group and got them all riled up so that they didn't come because her family wanted a dry wedding. I've been to dry weddings. They're fine. You don't need to be drunk to have a good time. Is your friend group so founded on the idea of being smashed?
I really feel like you have a drinking problem if you can't stay sober for one night to support your friend in their marriage.
And I know it's tradition to get a little drunk on New Year's Eve. It's not a mandatory one, and it's your buddy's wedding. How bad of friends are you that you can't go one night without alcohol? Because you said in the post, you don't really get along with his fiancée, but you try to support him because he loves her. It sounds like you're not trying to support him at all.
Top comment. I love drinking and hate a dry wedding as much as the next guy, but you can show up to the wedding ceremony, spend an hour or two at the reception, and then go get blackout drunk if that is an absolute must for you. Backing out last minute and letting your friend know he's not worth 2 hours of sobriety means you're the asshole by miles and miles.
Absolutely, you're the asshole. Like they said, just sneak out and go to a bar after you've made your rounds and congratulated them.
Someone replied to that comment, if drinking means more to you than a friendship, you might need to evaluate a few things.
Yeah, it's not healthy when you need alcohol to have fun.
So Reddit definitely thinks that he's an asshole, but they do kind of seem to think that the bride and groom should have announced that it was a dry wedding beforehand so people were prepared.
I can get behind expecting an announcement that it's a dry wedding, but you're his friend group. It sounds like you're in this person's core friend group. So the idea that a surprise dry wedding makes you want to back out, it sounds like you're not a good friend. And I think bride and groom are now learning who their true friends are, and it's the ones that didn't back out. You have a 12-person friend group. That's big. It's time to cut that down.
Another comment. You're the asshole, even though I totally agree with you that he should have informed in advance about the dry wedding. It's not right to cancel last minute for this reason. You can attend the ceremony and the reception for a couple of hours and then go elsewhere to drink. Weddings aren't meant for drinking all night, as you mentioned. They're for celebrating and supporting the couple. I think this is more about not liking the bride, and this was the perfect excuse not to attend.
It kind of does sound like you're just looking for an excuse because you really should not be going to a wedding with the intent of getting smashed. The booze is really just supposed to be a little bit of social lubricant. You get a little buzzed so you're more fun on the dance floor. You don't get drunk.
You're the asshole. It's one night, you've already RSVP'd, and you're backing out the week of. I guess somewhere in the comments it must be said that it's the week of the wedding and he's backing out.
Oh, God, that's really close.
That is so close. Like, catering is finalized at that point.
Yeah, he is not getting back his any of his fees for those 20 people.
It's like you're saying, hey, I was only willing to support and celebrate you in your marriage when I thought you were funding my New Year's Eve debauchery. Now that I know you're not, I'm out. Have a nice wedding in life, I guess.
It does sound like that, and it really shows a lack of respect for your friend's wallet unless you're still sending them like a gift. Because even at like a low estimate, if they're spending $20 a plate, that's what, $400?
It's usually like more closer to like 75 to 100 a plate.
I know. I was being like, maybe it's a very budget wedding. It's probably not. It's a New Year's wedding. That's a premium time slot. So you're costing them a lot of money. That the polite thing to do is to, kind of give them a gift that is equivalent to that money. That's how I was raised, at least. I know some people don't agree with that.
I do believe it is like proper wedding etiquette to like try and make sure your gift covers the cost of your plate.
Yeah, and then maybe plus a little more to wish them a happy start to their wedding. But like, you kind of try to guess what your plate is going to cost at a wedding.
So yeah, I'm pretty sure he seems like he's the asshole and he's not a very good friend.
Would I be the asshole if I told my friend not to propose on New Year's Day?
I'm not sure I see a problem with proposing on New Year's Day. It's not like a big to-do holiday. I feel like, personally, I would avoid Christmas, their birthday, and Valentine's Day. But I'm not sure I would really avoid any other holidays.
It is also one of those things like at the ball drop every year, you always see somebody proposing to their girlfriend.
Yeah, that is true. I don't know about at the ball drop, but like New Year's Day? When are they proposing exactly?
Well, I mean, technically, if you propose right after the ball drop, you have proposed on New Year's Day is what I'm saying.
Yeah, I don't know if I like that, though. I was just thinking in the middle of the day on New Year's Day.
Okay, hear me out. These are supposed to be our closest friends, and he just bought a ring and wants to propose on New Year's Day. But my birthday is New Year's Day.
That is such a lame reason not to propose. You can't propose to your girlfriend because my birthday is on that day. And as your best friend, no, I hate this person.
Would I be a butthole if I tell him no?
I don't think you can tell him no. He's going to do whatever he wants.
I feel like they are always trying to overshadow things in mine and my husband's life. For example, friend was in the hospital. We were there constantly supporting her. She was on the mend. We're waiting to hear she was released. We got to get pictures of our baby's ultrasound and got to take a video of her heartbeat, and we sent it to them. They quite literally said nothing and just bypassed it and was talking about her being in the hospital. This was kind of the straw that broke the camel's back with me. Because while I understand you had surgery and are all good now, you couldn't even acknowledge the ultrasound and video? Like, even just one text. We got married 3 months ago. The entire day she was trying to make it about her. Her boyfriend was best man. She was a bridesmaid. The entire morning getting ready, she was talking about how her boyfriend was going to cry when she walked down the aisle. She wanted me, the bride, to carry candy in my pocket during the ceremony in case she had a diabetic low. I suggested someone in the front row, my parents or something, have something for her in case. Nope, wasn't good enough. She even asked the photographer to take photos of her and her boyfriend only.
Okay, your friend does suck. This girl, she sucks. You don't ask the bride to carry something for the bridesmaid on the wedding day. No.
No, that is extreme. Just carry it yourself. It's a piece of candy.
Yeah, carry it yourself. Also, like, maybe check your blood sugar right before you go down the aisle to see if you should have some candy or not before you go. Also, when your friend sends you the first ultrasound pictures of their baby, you need to gush over it. That's what a good friend does.
I mean, she was in the hospital recovering from surgery.
Yeah, but they're still texting about other things and stuff. I feel like a simple text of, oh my gosh, how exciting, is not that hard to send. I guess we don't know how serious the surgery was and everything, but given her other behavior, I'm starting to think that your friend is just very self-centered.
Although that doesn't make your self-centered behavior justified.
No, this does sound like it's going towards everybody sucks here. And you can't just hijack someone's wedding photographer to get couples photos like it's a couples photo shoot for you. That's extremely rude because the bride and groom are paying for the photographer.
I agree you can't hijack the photographer, but I'm pretty sure when we did our wedding, we asked the photographer to take a photo of all the couples because all of our groomsmen and bridesmaids were couples.
Yeah, they were all married to each other.
Yeah, except for like my best friend and your best friend, who were just good friends. So pretty sure we said, hey, can you take a quick photo of all the couples? But we were the ones that said that as the bride and groom.
Yeah, I feel like the request has to come from the person paying the photographer.
I don't know. I'm just starting to get frustrated. I would also like to add that they want us there when he proposes. So my last birthday child-free, which is normally a day I take for myself as like a chill-at-home spa day, will be overshadowed by them getting engaged.
Okay, the girlfriend sounds like a terrible and self-centered friend, but you're not coming across as much better being like, don't propose on my birthday. That's so self-centered. You're not involved in this proposal, really. And I mean, I guess you kind of are because they're inviting you to be there for the proposal, but it's not about you.
Yeah, and I suppose you could always just decline being there for the proposal and be like, hey, that's actually my birthday and we have plans. I'm sorry.
Yeah, like that seems like a viable option.
Top comment. Bro, this is the most childish shit I've seen. Stop being friends with this person if that's how you truly feel. This isn't fifth. You don't have to be friends with anyone. You're the asshole for this playground friendship mentality. OP replied to that, I do agree with you. Unfortunately, he's best friends with my husband, so yeah, I do have a choice, but then my husband doesn't have his best friend anymore. I tolerate her, so I don't ruin his friendship. You will be the asshole. You don't have to attend, but you can't stop them from proposing just because it's your birthday. OP replied, no, absolutely not, but I'm not sure why myself and my husband have to go. I don't know, it's just not sitting right with me. Somebody replied to that, you don't have to go. You're not only a grown woman, but you're about to be a mother. You really don't have to do anything you don't want to do. The real am I the asshole question here is, am I the asshole if I ask my husband to miss his best friend's proposal to stay home with me on my last child-free birthday? And the answer is no. And he should stay home with you. The engagement date will likely not be celebrated annually. It's okay to ask your husband to stay home, but I would explain why this birthday is important to you and how you've been looking forward to spending it together, including the context. Men can be thick.
Yeah, that is a very good point. Like, your husband's going to think it's not a big deal. And if it is a big deal to you, you need to explain to him why.
That is kind of Reddit's opinion, is that you're the asshole if you try to stop the proposal. But everybody's kind of adding in, just talk about your feelings.
Yeah. But I don't know. These people just don't seem very mature. Like, talking out your feelings and finding a solution to the problem does not seem like their go-to response.
OP replied to a similar comment to that. Yeah, you are completely right. Definitely. I'm just frustrated and trying to keep the peace. I'm definitely at my wit's end here now. I mean, lots of other things have happened, but not the point of this post. But when he speaks to us about the plan, I will have a conversation. Oh, also, she does clarify in some comments that the proposal is not going to be happening at, like, just after midnight. It's going to be happening on New Year's Day, like a planned little event. So she's not saying you can't just do the fun New Year's midnight proposal. She's saying just don't do it when it's no longer the party.
I think she's just saying don't do it on my birthday. It just so happens to be that it's New Year's Day.
Yes, but I think what she's really trying to get at is I don't want to be there. I want to just stay at home on my last child-free birthday.
Which is fair.
Because she replies to someone else, I'm not sure why myself and my husband have to go. I don't know. It's just not sitting right with me. So I think that's her main grievance. And the solution there is just talk to your husband.
Hey, if you're enjoying these Reddit stories, go ahead and hit that subscribe button so you don't miss future episodes.
We really appreciate your support, and it lets us know that we should keep making fun content like this for you.
Am I the asshole for not doing our New Year's fireworks early so our neighbors' kids can stay up and see it?
I guess you're not the asshole. Do the fireworks whenever you want. Is it so bad that the kids stay up till midnight, though? Assuming that you're doing them at midnight?
My husband and I do a fireworks show every year for New Year's. We get a whole bunch of them, set up our firework racks, plan out the timing of them so it gradually gets larger until the finale.
Okay, so you do a big fancy fireworks display.
Yeah, sounds like it. It's been a nice thing that our friends and family come together to do, and people in our neighborhood enjoy it as well, since our town doesn't have a fireworks show. It also saves them from having to deal with fireworks themselves and making the trip to get fireworks, as they're not allowed to be sold in our county. So my husband, son, and our nephew make the trip to go get them a couple of weekends before.
I mean, when we were growing up in Michigan, all the fun fireworks could not legally be sold here.
You had to go to Ohio, didn't you?
No, we went to Indiana.
Oh, you're closer to Indiana on your side of the state.
Right. So that became a traditional 4th of July or New Year's trip, was to drive down across the state line, and you go to, I think it was literally called State Line Fireworks, and you would buy a bunch of fireworks and drive back.
Our neighbors were out with their kids riding bikes yesterday afternoon and came up to us as we were setting it up to ask what time we would be doing them. We tell them we start our show a little bit before 12, so the big fireworks are going off as the ball drops.
Huh, that doesn't seem right. I feel like you watch the ball drop and then you go see the fireworks. Why are you making people miss the ball drop for your fireworks?
Right? I mean, fireworks are really cool, but you gotta watch the ball drop. The mom asks if we can do them earlier, like 8 or 9, so their kids could see them because they can't stay up that late. My husband explained that's when our friends and family are expecting it. She then asks if we could do some of them earlier.
I'm sorry, asking to do some of them earlier is very entitled. Like, these aren't your damn fireworks, lady.
Fireworks are expensive.
Yeah, that's why she's not going and buying them.
I know my husband really doesn't want to because he has the timing all planned out with the fireworks we have and gets stressed when things are unplanned. He hesitates replying, though, because he hates confrontation. So I just tell her that's not going to work for us, and I can see their kids are already disappointed, but I can also tell my husband's relieved I took over.
I'm sorry, how old are these kids?
They never say.
Okay, because it's one day a year that the kid has to stay up till midnight. Like, wake them back up for the fireworks display or something.
Just want to add that it's legal to set off fireworks in our county. People just can't sell them here.
That's how it was when we were growing up, too. I think they loosened all the restrictions on fireworks in Michigan, though, didn't they?
Yeah, because we do have I've seen fireworks stores around now.
Right. Like, and it's not just sparklers anymore and stuff. It's the ones that actually launch, I believe. But no, you're clearly not the asshole. You have a whole show planned out. It's unrealistic to just switch your schedule around because one person asked you to. There's lots of other people who want it to go off at that time that you have set. So do what works best for your party. Like, the neighbors are kind of just an add-on to this.
Yeah, you're not doing this for the neighbors. It's just you can't stop them from enjoying your fireworks because they're outside.
Yeah, so you're just the cool neighbor who sets off like a fun display for everyone to watch. We do that sometimes around 4th of July or New Year's. We like go outside and look over at some of the other neighbors who are setting off fireworks.
Mm-hmm.
I don't want to go buy fireworks. That sounds annoying.
I don't want to blow my hand off. I am not coordinated. Things would not go well for me if I tried to do fireworks.
I used to really enjoy the fireworks. I just don't get the kick out of setting them off anymore.
Top comment. NTA, if they want to shoot off some rockets with their little children, they can totally buy some for themselves. It's not your job to accommodate them.
That's also true. If the kids are too young to stay up till midnight, they probably have very low standards for fireworks.
Oh, yeah. You could get the cheap ones and they will be impressed.
Yeah, just get a few of the ones that launch off the ground and set them off in your driveway. If they're like 4 and 5, they'd probably get so much more joy out of those little pop ones that you throw at the ground and they make a loud noise.
Oh, those are fun when you're a kid.
Yeah.
Those are fun now. I still like those. NTA, you paid for the fireworks, you get to choose when to use them, and you already had set up plans and expectations with others. Very reasonable expectations, given that midnight is when New Year's is celebrated. Asking someone to change all their plans mere hours before the event to accommodate their children is asking way too much. These kids will get plenty of other opportunities to see fireworks.
Yeah, it's very clear cut. You're not the asshole. I still can't get behind having the firework display go through midnight. Let the ball drop and then go out and start it at like 12:05, in my opinion.
I think that seems to be what everyone around us does too, because you don't hear fireworks going off until after the ball drops, and that's when the fireworks start.
Yeah, that's kind of how it goes at every party that has had fireworks I've ever been to. Like, they all go out after the ball drop or before the ball drop, but not at the ball drop. You generally want to do like your own thing at midnight. Not watch fireworks. That's when you smooch.
Maybe you smooch as the big finale of the fireworks is going off, but then you're missing it.
I mean, something about the way you just phrased it, though, like, I can get behind maybe the fireworks being your New Year's ball drop, but there needs to be some sort of countdown is my problem.
Yeah, do you have someone doing a countdown as the fireworks are going off? Because then how do you know that you've timed it exactly right and when the new year rings in?
Yeah, like, do you have some fireworks that, like, go off every second and we can do like a countdown over a loudspeaker? Like, I need some 10, 9, 8, 7, 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1.
I feel like as an amateur, getting your fireworks timed that exactly would be near impossible.
You almost need like a pact with all the neighbors that no one's going to be looking at an actual clock while you're counting down.
NTA, excuse me, could you replan your entire evening based around my children's bedtime, even though we're only neighbors and not even really friends? That'd be great. Thanks. That does kind of put into perspective how ridiculous this request is.
I mean, I don't even know if I needed that perspective. It was very clearly a ridiculous request.
Now, you said just let the kids stay up for midnight. It's one night. One year when I was little, I could not stay awake for midnight, and I fell asleep. And I was so upset the next morning that they didn't wake me up for the countdown, because we always got to bang pots and pans with wooden sticks and make a loud ruckus and everything as midnight hit. And I was so upset I missed it. And they're like, we tried to wake you up. You just wouldn't wake up.
That's just part of being a kid, though, is like you try to stay up for Santa. You can never stay up for Santa. Sometimes your parents can't get you up to watch the New Year's countdown. It's just kind of a memory that you form as a kid.
Yeah, they let me bang pots and pans the next day, and it just wasn't the same.
Am I the asshole for skipping New Year's Eve at my child-free sister's?
I'm going to guess not the asshole. I mean, I don't know why you decided not to go, but it's not like you have to go to anybody's New Year's Eve party.
Last week, I hosted Christmas for my family. I, 33 male, have a 2-year-old with my wife. Every year, it's at my sister, parents, or my house, and it rotates every year. One of us hosts Thanksgiving, one Christmas, and then the other New Year's. In the last year, my sister, who is vocally child-free, got a dog. I love my sister, but we are very much opposites. When I had my kid, it changed our relationship a bit. She tolerates my son, her words. She has never watched him. I've also never asked. My son is present at all family functions. This annoys my sister.
Wow, she really doesn't like kids. I mean, most people who don't like kids still kind of like their nieces and nephews.
No, if you could just like tuck the kid in a closet till they're 18, that would be best.
It would make her more comfortable.
My sister has turned into your classic dog mom. World revolves around the dog type. I do not own dogs, and I really don't want to be around them. I don't want them in my house. Well, my sister wanted to bring her dog to Christmas, and I said no. It's well trained and overall okay for a dog. I just didn't want it at my house or even my yard. She complied and left it alone, but was not happy about it, and let me know that several times.
I don't understand dog owners who get upset when non-dog owners don't want their dog in their house. Like, dogs shed a lot of fur, and they're just, you gotta admit, they can be dirty. Even if you groom them regularly. Who knows what they're stepping in out in the yard, and then they're tracking it all over the house. If you don't own dogs, I can totally understand not wanting a dog to come into your house and germ it all up.
The day before New Year's Eve, she told me my kids weren't welcome at her house. I was taken aback by this and asked why. She said alcohol would be present. We all drink, and family friends also come to this party. And just said it wouldn't be appropriate for a 2-year-old to be present. My wife and I had planned to only stay till 10 anyway, and then would go home because of our kid. We reconsidered and opted to not go at all and respect my sister's wishes by keeping the kid at home. I let her know a half hour before the party started.
Okay, that is a little bit late to be letting her know, but she also let you know very late, like the day of.
Yeah, and I don't know. I feel like a New Year's party, even a family one, is casual enough that you don't need to give like a ton of notice.
Yeah.
Half an hour is kind of tight, though. Wife and I treated it like any other night. We didn't even stay up till midnight. By 11, I noticed missed calls from her and didn't answer. Fell asleep while texts started coming in. Calling me an asshole, calling me a dog hater, saying it was rude I didn't come to the party, said it was bullshit that she got my kid a Christmas present, but I didn't get her dog anything. The list went on. She was clearly drunk. I tried to call her, she didn't answer, and I got a text, "I'm not answering, asshole." So, am I the asshole here?
Not the asshole. I think you were completely justified in asking your sister not to bring her dog to Christmas. But now I feel like she's just retaliating by saying New Year's Eve is child-free. Now, I do understand some people have not baby-proofed their homes because they don't have kids or anything. And if you know that the parents do not watch their children well, you don't want that kid in your not baby-proof house.
That's fair. I didn't even think about the baby-proofing situation.
But I think her saying alcohol will be present, it is not appropriate for your 2-year-old to be there, is bullshit. This is a casual New Year's Eve party. And the brother's planning to leave at 10. Hopefully nobody's going to be smashed and wasted that early in the evening.
Yeah, hopefully they're pacing themselves a little better than that. This very clearly is retaliation for not letting the dog come over.
So, I mean, I do feel like the sister has a right to say, please no children at this party that I am hosting, but she's just being an asshole about it. But you were very polite and followed her rules and were like, okay, that's fine. No children. You didn't try and force her to let your kid come over. You just declined to attend, which is also your right to do.
Reddit agrees, not the asshole. I say this as a kid and dog lover. She was testing you and wanted you to protest when she said that her nephew wasn't welcome. You didn't take the bait, and she ironically threw a toddler-sized tantrum. Good for you and your wife for not arguing, complying, and staying home. The only misstep is that you called her back. Should have just ignored it. I would leave it alone. This is her problem, not a you problem. And no, you didn't need to get her dog a gift. I rolled my eyes at that one, lol.
I am a big dog lover, but even I will admit that dogs are not the same as children.
I mean, we do buy all of our siblings' pets presents for
We do.
Christmas.
But it's like we get cat toys for my sister's cats from our cats.
And we don't spend as much as we do on the humans.
No. It's just a little token. Hey, we are including your family pets because pets are family, but not on the same level as children.
Yeah, pets are family, and we know that you love your pets. So this is kind of more a gift for your sister to give to her pets, but it presented in a fun manner.
So yeah, giving gifts to pets is something that we do, but I don't think that OP is the asshole for not getting his sister's dog a Christmas present.
All right, and there is an update. To be honest, I was pissed at my sister's rule. We had looked for a babysitter in the time we were informed no kids to when we said we weren't coming. All our usual babysitters were going to the party, like our parents and aunts, and no one outside that usual crew was available, hence the last minute no.
Yeah, she did not give them much time to find a babysitter, so I don't know how she can be surprised that they just didn't come.
And that does justify the last minute no a little bit more if he was actively trying up to that point.
Yeah.
For those asking when I told her no to the dog coming over on Christmas, I told her the day before because that is when she asked. This is her first year with the dog, so I had no idea she had the expectation she would bring it. Apparently my mom told her to ask me first instead of just bringing it.
Mom is a hero, because she knew you would not be okay with it and that this was not expected.
Yeah, good on Mom. She only lives 10 minutes away from me. She's been vocal about not liking kids since she was a late teenager. She is child-free by choice as far as I know. So she doesn't even, live far away. She could dip back home and let the dog out if that's her concern.
Yeah, that really is. That's really close.
So, I got the drunk text because family members were disappointed my kid wasn't there. Especially the ones that don't see my son that often. My sister told them she was trying to have no kids at the party. They were surprised by that since my sister has never hosted a party where the kids of the family were not invited. One other family member that has kids ended up having one parent stay home with their kid. So my sister did communicate this to more than just me. Seems like others weren't happy with her decision.
Okay, that is good that she wasn't just targeting you and her nephew.
But it also sounds like your family has a tradition of doing this with kids there. So her just kind of going rogue and saying no kids is a little off, isn't it?
Yeah, it does seem weird.
Just let somebody else host if it's that big of a deal for you.
And they probably would have if she had given them more warning.
We talked today and she is still mad about Christmas. Told me she wants me to accept her dog as family. I told her it can be family to you, but it isn't going to be family to me. It can be your everything, but it will never be to me. I told her my kid is more important than her dog. I'm not a dog person and will never be, and I just don't want it at my house. Apparently the attention my kid gets from family, including my mom, bothers her. It was clear from the beginning she wasn't going to be an involved aunt to my son, which makes me hurt and sad. But I didn't realize there was this much jealousy. I'm just going to give her space for a while, then reach out.
Wow. This adult lady is jealous of what the attention that a baby is getting.
Essentially, yes. Why isn't her dog getting that same level of attention?
Oh, I was thinking more along the lines of why am I not getting that? My mom's attention is now focused on this new grandbaby and not me anymore.
I mean, that's just how it goes, though. Once the grandbabies turn up, all the kids are worthless.
They really are.
My only complaint about OP is that it does seem like they just don't respect their sister's pet at all. They don't like it at all, and they don't want to have anything to do with it. It is important to your sister. I'm not trying to say that in any way that says that her behavior is okay.
Yeah, but like it is important to her. I think you should be a little bit more understanding of that. How hard is it to get your sister's dog a Christmas present? I mean, maybe you didn't think of it this year because it's the first time your sister has had a dog, but you know it's important to her now. Maybe next year, just get her sister's dog a little dog toy for Christmas.
Yeah, I don't even know if you need to go that far. It's just the fact that he wrote like an entire paragraph where he said he does not like this dog makes me wonder if he maybe doesn't like the dog a little
too much.
Yeah, it almost feels like he's not liking the dog in retaliation to her not liking the kid, which is in retaliation to him not liking the dog, and it feels like they're in a loop. And they are siblings, and they should try to get along.
No, sibling rivalry. Fight, 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 fight.
Top comment, this is sad. Wife and I are child-free in our early 40s and are big-time dog people, but we'd never expect family to treat our dogs as actual children and buy them gifts and just allow them in their home without asking first. And while I'd love to live in a world where kids would not be at my home, 95% of my friends have them, and some are even pretty cool, so I learned a deal. I've still never held a baby, though. To outright reject a child, especially a niece or nephew, is just cruel.
Yeah, I do feel bad for this baby when it grows up a little bit more and realizes that its aunt hates him.
Yeah, right? That's awful. Like, I am not behind alienating your niece or nephew to that extent at all. It's fine to be child-free. It's fine to be a dog person. It's fine to treat your dog like they're your child. It's not fine to treat someone else's child like a dog or to expect others to treat your dog as well as or better than they treat their children.
I like that. That is very well put.
This really isn't about dog versus child. This is about your sister being jealous of you getting more attention. She sounds like she has been jealous of you for a long time. And if you look back, I am sure you could find more examples of this behavior. Just give her a lot of space because she will forever be pushing her dog as equivalent to nephew and look at any talk otherwise as an affront and insult. I'm sorry, but it sounds like you have other loving relatives in your son's life and he doesn't need her unloving attitude around him. Good luck.
Yeah, I think OP is clearly not the asshole here.
Yeah, I really hope that as siblings they can work through this, but it sounds like most of the problem is on sister's side, so best of luck.
Am I the asshole for storming out after we missed New Year's Eve because my dad wouldn't change the channel?
That is the worst. And I have been to a New Year's party where somebody wouldn't change the channel to the New Year's ball drop, and we have missed it.
I, 20s, was with my parents, 50s, and sister, 20s, on New Year's Eve. As she usually does, my mom brought snacks for us to eat while we watched the countdown to midnight on television. When he saw the snacks, my dad said that he was planning on watching the Peach Bowl, an American football game happening that night. My mom asked if the game would go until midnight, and my dad said he hoped not, but that he wanted to watch the game. As it turned out, the game did go long. My mom, sister, and I eventually made our way to the television starting around an hour before midnight, but none of us cared about the game that was on. We were all on our phones and eating snacks while we waited. As midnight approached, so did the final moments of the extremely close game. All of us asked my dad to change the channel briefly so we could watch the countdown, but he refused, saying he wanted to watch the end of the game. He had the remote. We missed it.
I'm sorry, he couldn't have done picture-in-picture or anything?
Right? I'm like, does no one have a phone or a laptop that they can open up the game on and then turn the real TV to the ball drop and give him the phone or the laptop to finish the game on?
Right? Because he is clearly outvoted in this situation, so I think the game gets lower priority than the ball drop. Just open it up on one of the phones or something and let him listen to it while you're all counting down. It kind of sounds like he's not making the party very fun because everyone else is just sitting there eating snacks and looking at their phone for an hour before the ball drop.
Yeah, they want to watch like the pre-New Year's Eve Times Square party that's going on, and he's not letting them. And he's outvoted 3-1.
He needs like a second TV in the man cave or something that he can go and watch by himself.
I was mad because the only reason I had come at all was to celebrate the start of the new year at midnight with my family, but I'd missed it. So I said, Happy New Year, nonchalantly, and left. My mom and sister were mad too and left him there with the mess of snacks. My dad thinks we were all super rude and insensitive since he had said in advance that he wanted to watch the game and we knew how important it was to him. Am I the asshole for storming out when he refused to change the channel?
No, I don't think you're the asshole for being upset that he wouldn't change it over to the ball drop. That is kind of the whole point of the night. I feel like it's a little off that your dad did not understand that the whole point of this gathering was to watch that 10-second countdown. And you probably would have been okay with him just snapping it right back over to the game after. Picture in picture. Put it on your phone, like something. Come on, Dad. They want to watch it on the big screen. I do wonder why no one opened the countdown on their phone or something when he obviously was being stubborn about the TV. I think he was the bigger asshole in this situation, and it sucks that you have to be the ones to open it up on like a computer screen in another room or something. But you had an hour up to that point to realize that he was going to be a stubborn ass.
Well, they didn't think the game was going to go that long. They're like, surely the game will be over soon.
Yeah, but at like 11:50, you can look at that timer and be like, oh, this game's not going to be over soon.
Top comment, NTA, your dad basically told you and the rest of his family to take a back seat to some sport ball bullshit. He's the only one who wanted to watch it. He can find another screen to put it on. Someone else replied to that. The Peach Bowl literally ended on the last play of the game being a missed field goal that would have won the game at 1 minute after midnight. Did none of these people have a smartphone/tablet/computer? Why can't they find another screen to put it on? Everyone sucks here.
Yeah, I can kind of understand that judgment too. Like, I would say Dad is the bigger asshole, but not one person in this family was willing to compromise or get picture-in-picture up or open up something else on a laptop. Sounds like everyone was being very stubborn. But because of democracy, your dad is the asshole in this situation.
Yes, the daughters came over thinking this is a New Year's Eve party. This is, we're going to watch New Year's Eve stuff with our parents. And then they got suckered into watching football all night, which none of them cared about.
Yeah, it does sound like your dad did not want to have a party, doesn't it?
Yeah, he didn't even want you there. He just wanted to sit and watch his football game in peace.
It does sound exactly like that. So I think he's the asshole in this situation, actually. Like, I get the judgment of everyone sucks here because you could have done solutions around it. But no, I think Dad's the asshole. I think if you invite people over for the New Year's and then you don't let the New Year's happen on the TV, you're a bad host.
I find it a little bit surprising that the comments seem pretty split between NTA and everybody sucks here. I thought it would be a lot more NTA, but a lot of football fans really think the dad is not the asshole. It should be noted that the final play of the game literally happened as the day/year clicked over to midnight. If he had switched over to the ball drop, he would have missed arguably one of the most exciting games of the year or longer, with major implications for those that follow college football.
I can understand that it was a very tense game and it did go long, which makes the football game better. But I think that the part where they invited their daughters over to hang out on New Year's trumps the fact that it was a good game. Also, I'm going to add in a second asshole on this. The TV network not doing a split screen during that game to have the ball drop.
Oh, that is a good point. Another football fan replies, OP says the only reason they went was to spend New Year's with her family. They literally did that. But maybe I'm biased. Go Dogs! I feel like watching a football game is not how I intended to spend my New Year's Eve with my family. If I went to spend time with my family and all we did was sit there and watch football, I would be very upset if I had, wanted to watch the ball drop.
Okay, but you're not a football fan, like, at all?
No.
So I could see that being a super cool way to ring in the new year, watching a really good game.
But 3-1, Dad loses out. He does not get to monopolize the TV all night on New Year's Eve when the whole family is there.
Yeah, I agree on that. Dad was very clearly outvoted. He needs to move down to the basement TV or something and watch the game there. Because I do not believe for a second that this family does not own a second TV. Because it sounds like Dad's the only one that cares about football. So there have definitely been other games where the rest of the family wanted to watch something and Dad wanted to watch football. So he definitely owns a second TV. That's how football works. Am I the asshole for asking my roommates not to do laundry on New Year's Day?
That seems weird. Why can't they do laundry? I feel like this might be an assholey thing to do. Let people do laundry.
Hey everyone. So I, 25 female, have OCD, professionally diagnosed and medicated. However, despite the meds and therapy, I still deal with my OCD, specifically intrusive thoughts and superstitions. I fully acknowledge and understand that my thoughts are my illness, but that doesn't change the fact that they bring me severe emotional distress and anxiety. The superstition in question is not doing laundry on New Year's Day, or you'll wash away a member of your family.
I've never heard that superstition. That is interesting.
On to the issue. I recently let my best friends move in with me due to housing issues on their end, so they could get on their feet and find a decent place. We get along just fine and don't have any issues at all. I casually asked them yesterday if they'd be willing to do any laundry they want done on the 30th or 31st and avoid doing any on New Year's Day. I explained that while I fully respect that it's no one else's problem to deal with my anxieties but my own, I'd appreciate if they could just help me by not causing a situation that would cause me anxiety. This caused them to get very annoyed and say they are grown adults and should get to do laundry whenever, and I fully agree. I told them while I understand my anxieties are illogical, I genuinely cannot help it, as therapy and meds only do so much. They continued to talk at me saying I'm too old to believe such ridiculous things, and that I need to get over it, and that they're going to do laundry just to spite me for being so petty.
Wow. The friend is an asshole. Don't be spiteful. All they did was politely ask.
This has caused me severe anxiety, and I feel badly trying to boss them around, but I just wanted to avoid something that would cause me anxiety, so am I the asshole?
Okay, not the asshole. From the title and the beginning of the story, I was like, yeah, that's asshole behavior. Let people do laundry. But no, not the asshole. You handled this very politely and like an adult, and these people are being very rude and petty.
Yeah, I don't even think it's that big of an ask. Like, can you get your laundry done on the 30th and 31st? Because I have a tradition where I don't do laundry on the 1st because of this old superstition. So many of the things in our lives are because of old superstitions. It's not even that big of a, inconvenience for them.
Yeah, I was expecting OP to be making irrational demands, but OP knows that these are irrational and very politely asked, would you mind not doing this? Because I know it causes me anxiety, even though I know it's irrational. I feel like if I was friends with someone, I would try to not cause them anxiety. And I'd be like, okay, yeah, sure. That's a simple accommodation. That's not that big a deal.
I feel like if you're friends with this person and they're letting them stay with you while you get your housing situation under control, you should probably be nice to this person.
Right? OP is doing these people a favor by letting them move in with her while they're having a housing situation, and they're being extremely rude. If someone is nice enough to help me out of a predicament, especially a big one like a housing crisis thing, letting someone move in with you is such a big deal. I would be so polite to anybody who is doing me that favor. And these people are so rude.
It's such an inconvenience for OP, and they are just kind of ragging on her right here, aren't they? Are they even your friends?
It sounds like they're definitely using you.
I almost feel like her OCD isn't even a factor in this. If she had just told that whole story and said, hey, we have a tradition in my family where we don't do laundry on the first day of the year because you'll wash away a family member. So can you guys just kind of join in on the tradition since you're at my house this year? I would say OP's not the asshole in that situation.
But to try and relieve some of OP's anxiety, they're the ones doing the laundry. They're washing away their own family members, not your family members, and that's on them.
That's true. They can commit patricide or fratricide or whatever all they want.
Yeah, and it won't really affect OP because that's not her family. It's their family.
As a matter of fact, OP can be like, I told you so.
Yeah, let them do laundry and then just wait for someone to die. Someone's always going to die, right?
That's such a dark That's such a dark, petty response, yes. Somebody asks, info, besides the New Year's request, are there other asks you have made?
Oh, that is a good question, because if this is the most recent in a long line of ridiculous asks, yeah, they might be annoyed and start to get petty.
OP replied to that, no, this is the only one that bothers me outside of myself, if that makes sense. As long as when I do things, they feel right, that's all that matters. The issue with this one is just that we live together even though we aren't related. I tried so hard to make the disconnect, but that's the thing with OCD. It's irrational and I can't control it despite my best.
Okay, cool. So they're not making a whole bunch of ridiculous demands. Asking one little thing when people are staying with you does not seem too much to ask for a compromise.
Yeah, if you went to them and said, hey, can you not do laundry on Thursday? I have a job interview and I don't want the dryer making noise in the background. Would they be petty and say, no, I'm going to do laundry just to screw up your interview? I know it's not at that level, but it sounds kind of spiteful, their behavior to me.
I think they just don't like that she's OCD and is making ridiculous demands in their opinion. She should grow up and get over her OCD. Just do it. Have you tried just not having it?
Yeah, have you just tried having a better mental health? But for the most part, Reddit pretty much agrees with us. If this is the only thing you've really requested of them, you're not the asshole for asking, and their friends are being kind of assholes for giving such a petty response.
Is there an easy way to disable a washer for like one day and then like fix it the next day? Can you just like remove one piece of the washer so it doesn't work and then they can't wash their clothes and be like, I don't know, it's just broken. And then miraculously the next day it has fixed itself. They're going to be petty. I'm going to be petty back.
Maybe that's not the most healthy response for OP, but it is a possibility if you want to be petty back.
Also, just kick these people out of your house. They're terrible house guests.
That is also the opinion of a lot of commenters. If they're not going to be good house guests, they can hit the road and figure out housing situation without your help.
Am I the asshole for telling my husband that I'm going to a hotel by myself if he wants to host a New Year's Eve party?
I really feel like hosting a party needs to be a decision you make as a couple and both agree to.
My husband and I are in our late 40s. We have a fairly large home, which makes it easy to host parties. Also, my husband loves entertaining guests.
Okay, so this is not like a first offense.
Here is the hell that I went through the last 4 days. Friday, our daughter had her Friendmas celebration. It wasn't many people, but 8 wine-drunk 19 to 20-year-olds make the noise of about 40 people. Saturday, Christmas with my father-in-law's family. My husband's parents are divorced. They're a big family and love to drink. We had spills, kids having uh-ohs, and some belligerent aunts and cousins. We didn't even cook for this because it was like 30 people. We catered beef sandwiches, but with cleanup, it was still a lot of work.
Okay, so you are the party house.
Sunday, Christmas Eve. By the time we finally cleaned the house, we had to get ready for Christmas with mother-in-law's family. They're a smaller and tamer bunch, but we did all the cooking. Fillets and prime rib, polenta with braised beef, homemade pizzas, and some vegetables and salad. Cooking took forever. There's also a lot of little kids on this side of the family because he had some cousins come with small kids.
God, that sounds like such a pain in the ass to do all that by yourself. Like, it sounds like your husband enjoys hosting and puts in way too much effort.
But we're not done yet. Monday, Christmas Day. My family came over and we cooked. It's a smaller bunch, just my parents, my brother, and his family, but we still did all the cooking.
Wow, so none of the family members help with anything, it sounds like.
I am gassed. I'm ready to hibernate for a month. This morning, my husband said we should just do New Year's for our neighbors, who we usually get together with. I straight up told him I will go to a hotel if he insists on that, and I won't return until the house is clean. He thinks I'm being dramatic and that it wasn't that much work, but it really was. I know he likes to entertain more than me, and I don't want to sound like a party pooper, but I'm really done. Am I the asshole?
Okay, well, I feel like there's a lot to unpack here, but I mean, you're obviously not the asshole if you're partied out after hosting 4 times in 4 days. That's crazy. First question, is your husband just now inviting people to a New Year's party after Christmas and not like a couple weeks before?
Yeah, that does seem pretty close. A lot of people probably already made New Year's Eve plans because they're like, well, so-and-so didn't invite us, so I guess we need to find some other New Year's plans.
Although you are the primary party house, so maybe they all just plan on turning up at your house on New Year's no matter what.
Maybe they just assume you're hosting.
Question 2, is your husband helping with all this cooking?
That's the top comment. I note that you say, we cooked and we cleaned the house. I'm just wondering what we means in this context. Was hubby right there shoulder to shoulder with you, shopping, chopping vegetables, basting meat, and vacuuming and dusting and loading the dishwasher and putting stuff away? Or not? Did your daughter make an appropriate contribution to the preparations and post-purations for her party? Post-purations? That's a new word I haven't heard.
Yeah, because hosting is a lot of fun when you don't have to do anything.
If, as I suspect, you did the lion's share of the work and your husband played host, I strongly urge you to go to the hotel. Let him have his party. He can run it however he sees fit, and he can do the cleaning up.
Yeah, maybe stay at the hotel for a few extra days so he has plenty of time to do all that cleaning.
Oh, she said she's not coming home until it's cleaned.
Oh, good. I missed that part. Smart, OP.
Reddit is strongly NTA. NTA, I don't blame you. I'd be so done with parties if I were in your shoes. NTA, I'm exhausted just reading your description.
I'm sorry. Did OP not respond to let us know if husband is helping?
No.
Because that is critical information. But also, no, you're not the asshole. I am also exhausted just hearing about that. I want to host people at our house maybe once a year. Like, we just did a bunch of Christmas prep. We didn't even host, but we had to, like, bake cookies. And then we had to bake another set of cookies for a different family. And
wrap presents
and buy the presents. And, like, get ahead on housework and everything so that it's not a disaster when we return from going to people's houses. There's so much work to do when you're just not hosting. So to host 4 in a row? Come on.
Another comment, even if they split all the labor 50-50 and she feels overwhelmed and tired, she's allowed to say, I don't want to do this again in the near future.
Absolutely, it's your house too. If you don't want to have a party, he can't just overrule you.
And then a lot of other comments are along the lines of, NTA, if husband thinks it's not that much work, he should have no problem doing it himself.
Yeah, I mean, maybe OP just doesn't want to attend another party, but she also has the option of saying, hey, I'm not going to help at all. I'm just going to be a guest.
I feel like she'd still get roped into helping with things because she'd be embarrassed about, how her house looked if she was there present at the party. And she'd be like, you cannot have people over with the toilets looking like this. Give me that scrub brush.
That's a good point. OP and her husband likely have very different standards for what is okay to host a party in.
So I really do think if he is set on having a party, a hotel might be the best option for her. Just absent herself completely.
And husband might then learn what it takes to host a party on his own, and maybe he'll learn a lesson for the future.
That's our last story for this episode of Josh and Kristie Stealing the Internet.
Hit that subscribe button, have a happy new year, and we'll see you in 2026.